Alright, so the investigation has ended. Now, it is time for me to do something different for this series, where I basically say who I believe the killer is or might be, depending on the evidence that I got, and we will see if it will actually become true in the trial. This this is something I think I'm gonna do for each chapter after investigating, and well, in some cases, if I do end up finding the killer, find out how he or she did it like 100%, and the motive for the kill, if I am well confident in what I find out, of course, it is at viewer discretion. You can watch these, you can skip, it is your call. I, I'm just gonna say my thoughts, even though I feel a worry, I feel a little worried about this sort of stuff. I always feel like if I try to solve a murder case by myself, like try real hard and find the murderer, you viewers might end up being really mad or annoyed that I find out who the murderer is, instead of me figuring out during the trial and be all surprised, like, "Oh my god, is it that person? I can't believe it!" And I'm gonna be honest here, that is what I thought when I found out that it was Mikan that was the murderer in chapter 3 of Danganronpa 2. But then again, I was thinking Nagito's case would be a suicide, and then ended up wrong, so it can be possible that even if I am well confident it was one person, I might end up being wrong because, well, it is Danganronpa. It will always find ways of surprising me, despite me being a decently capable person when it comes to figuring out stuff. So, there you have it. If you guys will end up being annoyed that I'll find the killers, then there is nothing I myself can do. Like, at this point, I cannot turn my brain off and become a monkey for your entertainment and be surprised at every twist I find. Like, if you want that, if you find me boring for stuff like this, you can always watch somebody else who will appeal to your tastes. With that being said, what do I think about this whole thing? Well, Monokuma? Who is it? Who do you think the killer is? Who are you suspecting? I wanna know so badly. Well, I already talked at length about how the killer threw the shot put ball at Rantaro from the rear entrance. There are a lot of things to consider for that, like the rear entrance camera, the killer's strength to use the ball, the AV room, the gap made by the door that is stuck, etc., etc. But there is one thing that I realized when I saw the photos, and that is the bookcase. It was open when Rantaro was still alive, and it closed right after he died, so there is no way that someone would be able to throw anything from the rear entrance, given that the bookcase was on the way. And based on the photos, it's really hard to think of that possibility. So, in that case, who do you think did it? There is one other possibility I thought of during the investigation. That the ball was put somewhere to fall on Rantaro, somewhere on the bookcase maybe. But still, based on the photos, it doesn't show that anybody went in to put the ball so that Rantaro would be on the spot to kill him. It's like, fucking Christ, you're beating around the bush so much. Just tell me who you suspect already. Actually, you don't even need to say it. It's written all over your face. Could it be Shuichi? Or could it be Kaede? One of them can be the killer! Even if I suspect both of them, I have yet to find out how one of them killed Rantaro. Given that they both have been in the library and prepared the cameras, the chances of one of them putting the shot put ball somewhere to hit him are high at this point. Like, the cameras don't show anybody else going in to put the ball, and even if it was someone else other than Kaede and Shuichi, they would have had to know about the location of each camera and make it so Rantaro goes on the right spot in order to kill him, which doesn't seem possible outside those two. Of course, you do also have to take into account the plan itself. Shuichi could have disguised his plan to kill somebody as a plan to find out who the mastermind is. That way, he could get the help of Kaede and thus create an alibi because of her. Or it can be that Kaede used Shuichi's plan for her to commit the crime. But still, I was with them the whole time while they prepared the cameras. I didn't see anything suspicious. Well, that's because you didn't think that they would try and commit a murder. They could have done it behind your back without noticing. And also planned their murder without the other one noticing it. But I have been with them ever since the killing game started. They don't seem like the type of people who would commit a murder. Well, some people can seem normal at first, until you see their true colors. But then what about the bow though? In order for the murder to happen at the exact time when Antaro was on the needed spot, the bow had to have moved at that specific time as well. In that case, how was it triggered? Well, that is for you to find out, right, detective? What if Kaede would actually be the killer? If she were, then she would be executed. And because of the contract, I cannot even go forward. And what about the free time events? How is it possible to do the rest of the free time events if she's actually the killer? Well, if that were the case, then you would have to find out for yourself. But. I don't want to hear any more buts from you. What was it that you almost said at the beginning of the investigation? I'm gonna give you a free pass. Given that this is your first class trial in a long time, we know very well that you won't be able to go forward without facing the truth. So for that, you have to prepare for even the biggest and harshest truth out there. That is, if the killer is either Shuichi or Kaede. However, I'm not gonna think of only that possibility. If it's somebody else, then it can be that the killer used Shuichi's plan to kill Rantaro, and that way make Kaede or Shuichi look like they are the killer. If that is the case, then I would fall in their trap. Do you have any evidence towards that? Well, you can think about the possibilities too. It's all up to you. We will see how things will end up in a class trial.